What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be doing a quick video on a coolant leak that I have in my 6.0 Excursion. We're going to go over where it's coming from, how I found it, and how to fix it. The weird thing about this coolant leak is it only does it when it's super cold, so that tells you that it's probably rubber. And for me, it's kind of hard to see, it's been sitting, but it's coming from the driver's front right above the differential. So if you have a coolant leak from the driver's front right above the differential and you can't see where it's coming from, this might be your culprit. So if you come up here to the coolant expansion tank, right below it you have this tube right here. So you have the upper tubes that go into the expansion tank, and that tube goes down. Then you have this one down here, kind of blurry. This one goes from here down to the water pump, I believe. Now to get to this, you're gonna have to obviously take all this air cleaner nonsense out of there. So I'll do that and show you where this one specifically is leaking from. All right, so you're gonna struggle for this for a few minutes. Take the tube off, CAC tube. This is where the mass flow, you have to take that part off. And the reason you have to take all this off is because this is the tube that we're trying to get to. So down here, you see where that tension clamp is? That's where mine's leaking from, which probably hasn't been ran for a few hours. But when it's cold, it leaks from there. And you can see I tried to put another clamp on it, like next to that, but it still didn't work. I'm still getting my huge puddles on the ground. So this whole tube is what we're replacing, and this is what we're replacing it with. So this is the Mishimoto tube. You can see it's a little different than the factory one, minus the color. And the reason I went with this one is that whole T section, well, I wouldn't call it a T, it's a Y. It replaces this whole thing. So it hooks straight up to the expansion tank, straight up to this tube, and then straight into the water heater. And the reason I like that, because I mean that's 1, 2, 3 more points of leaks through here on top of here. I guess 2 more, so these 2, that you're now getting rid of the possibility of leakage. So now I need to take this off. Obviously it's gonna make a big old mess because, well, it's gonna completely drain the expansion tank and whatever's in that line. So just expect to make a giant mess everywhere. It's gonna be great. As you can see, nice big mess. Tried to catch some of it in the pan, but when you're doing that, it's hard. So I unhooked it from there. I'm letting it just trickle out. That way when I do all this, it should hopefully be empty. Just be warned, when I undid it, the pressure, just, gravity, whatever. This hasn't been running for at least 12 hours, so it's cold. I wouldn't do this when it's warm and under pressure. If you do, release the pressure through this. But it exploded everywhere. So just be warned of that. But yeah, once that's done trickling, I'm gonna undo all this, take all this off, and then I'll show you putting the new one in. All right, so here's the new tube. That's kind of a pain. So what worked best for me is get it as tight as you can before you slide it on there. It's a 9/16, and then hold the tube up and come at the wrench from down there. You can see how it's lined up. It's still kind of a pain, but that's the best way I found to get the wrench down there so it doesn't slide around. And then after that, it's just, this goes straight on there. That hose right there goes straight on this silver piece, and that's just about it. So I'll get that done and I'll show you. All right, so there's the new tube. You can see it's hooked up at the bottom. Get rid of that T piece. Now it just clamps straight into the expansion tank, straight into that tube there. For these, I like to put my needle nose like against the insides and press out, just to make sure it's tight. So now I'm gonna top off the expansion. Make sure you use the gold coolant. It doesn't have to be pre-diluted. It's a lot easier. So I'm gonna top that off, put my CAC 2 back in, so real quick for putting these in. You can see there's oil in there, that's normal. Just really make sure to wipe this off and get this on nice and tight, because I've blown these tubes off while, under boost. I can't count how many times. So just make sure you do that well. So I'm gonna top that off while I do this, just to make sure it doesn't leak. I'm gonna start it, make sure it's not leaking from there anymore, and no new leaks up here. And then put it back together and take it for a drive. All right, so let it run for a minute. Check for leaks. Mine is good. That wetness you see there is residual. I let it run for a minute. Obviously, when you fill it up and you run it, it's gonna push the air out of the system. So you're gonna re-top that off, put everything back together, put your air cleaner back on, which is always fun. Maybe clean up after yourself, and then take it for a drive. One, to make sure it leaks, and two, make sure you got these dang things in good. So when you drive it, get the boost up. That way you make sure you're not gonna blow these on the road, because nothing like those popping out in the middle of a drive. So get this back together and take it for a test drive. All right, guys, so that's what we replaced. That's where it was leaking. That's the water pump side. I said heater for earlier for some reason, but I ripped it up and down the road. It's dripping a little bit, but that's because it made such a big mess everywhere. So just keep an eye on, the next few days after you do this, make sure it doesn't leak. Also, it took me 3 tries to get this tight. So make sure when you take these off, you test drive it and really rip it up and down the road so you know that's not gonna blow off. I had to use some hairspray. It's a weird trick. Spray the inner tube with hairspray. But that's it today, guys. So that's a common leak, I guess. So if you have a leak coming from the front driver's side, look into this tube, and I highly recommend this. Super nice. So thanks for watching, and have a good day.